Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. As you can see, we got another champion. Lissandra reveal is up, and let's go in and let's see. Volume seems pretty good. Let's go. Lissandra. I assume it's pronounced Lissandra. I know that I kind of got Talia wrong yesterday, so you know, let me know if it's not Lissandra. I don't know what else it would be, but away we go. Lisandra is a 3-mana 2/3 tough. When I'm summoned, summon a frozen thrall. And the level up is you've summoned 2+ allies that cost 8+. I'm assuming this is mana. That cost 8 mana. It doesn't say mana, but I assume that is. And when I level up, create a Watcher in hand. Wow, okay. So obviously we need to know what a frozen thrall, that's not easy to say, is, and a 3-mana 2/3 with tough. It does give us some survivability. I'm interested about the level condition though. You've summoned 2 allies that cost 8 or more, so obviously there is some Trundle synergy in there. Maybe we'll see if there's some ways of cheating out things, but obviously it seems quite a ramp champion, so let's keep going.
Looms on the horizon.
More landmarks. Okay, Draklorn Inquisitor, and we'll go back, by the way, to any cards that kind of come up like that. We'll go back at the end and sort of look at them. Draklorn Inquisitor is a 5-mana 4/5. When I'm summoned, summon a frozen thrall. So there could be these things here, these landmarks. Round end, if the countdown of any of your frozen monsters is 4 or less, advance them to 0. So this is a countdown thing for, I assume the frozen thrall isn't these, but these are frozen monsters. And if it's 4 or less, you know, it's going to take them to 0. Looks like, you know, depending on what that is, could be quite strong. We'll see now, I guess.
Completely and without question.
Okay. I see. That makes sense.
Ages pass, but
Oh my god, Lissandra. Your Nexus is tough. You know, I swear I've seen this ability on a custom LOR thing, and people shut it down like, this'll never happen, don't be stupid, why would they ever do that, that's too strong. Well, it's in the game now. Your Nexus is tough. Wow. When I'm summoned, summon a frozen thrall. Round start, create a fleeting ice shard in hand. The fleeting 0-cost ice shard in hand, so pretty good. Your Nexus is tough. Your Nexus is tough. Oh my god, let's keep going. Oh my god. Entomb. Obliterate a unit and summon a frozen tomb in its place. Don't know what that does yet. Keep going.
all things succumb to the cold. Frost gathers. I am inevitable.
What is this? The Watcher. 17 mana. 11/17. I cost 0 if you summoned 4+ allies that cost 8 this game. Attack. Obliterate. Ah! 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 What is this? What is this? What is this? Obliterate the enemy deck. This might be the coolest thing in the game.
At last they awaken.
Oh, give it a cool. Oh, that feels so good. Die! Die! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh wow. This might be the coolest thing I've ever seen. So we've got a lot to go through. There's still 5 minutes before the cards come out. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. let's just quickly familiarize ourselves. I'm not going to evaluate them yet, but just to see what those cards do, right? I'm pretty sure Ice Shard here, which is the card that leveled up Lissandra will create, is a deal 1 to everything 3 mana fast speed spell, as you can see here. I'm not going to evaluate, we're just going to go through what the cards actually are. So that's what Ice Shard is. Then we had this dude, of course, who advances these, which I guess we'll find out exactly what they are in a couple minutes. Then, of course, we had Lissandra. Let me just go through. And then we had Entomb, which is obliterate a unit and summon a frozen tomb in its place. Now, this, if we look at Heimerdinger here, looks like it's a landmark with a countdown of 2. Didn't mean to do that. But it has a countdown of 2, so I'm assuming that basically it removes a unit for a couple turns. And then, obviously, if you have something like, obviously, what this player did here, was it a bit earlier or a bit later than this? If they have the It That Stares, of course, It That Stares will obliterate all landmarks. And this is a card that could, particularly with what we saw yesterday, with so many landmarks coming into the game, now this card makes a lot more sense. And it wasn't too bad to deal with because of the fact that it has, you know, multiple different uses. It's never going to be a bad card. So now I think It That Stares is definitely going to be a card you see quite a bit of. Because especially if this card gets, you know, played as well. Because now this landmark gets obliterated and all of a sudden, you know, they've lost it. And, you know, you've also got an 8/8, which is pretty nice. This thing is the craziest thing in the game. It doesn't have a mana gem, so I'm not sure if we can actually put it in our decks straight up. Or where did it costs 0 here, so maybe you can. But it didn't have a mana gem here, so I'm not sure if something has to create this. Either way, this is the coolest thing in the game, I think, and I don't know what I'm going to do, because I was kind of set on the idea of, you know, day 1, I'm going to be playing the, you know, the all Shurima, Mono Shurima Sundisk deck, but now we might have a competitor. Maybe I'll just, you know, have to alternate and play both and have so much fun. I mean, this thing is crazy. Obliterate everything? I mean, that's just stupid. That is so stupid. And the fact that you get... It's such a nice synergy, though, as well. Of course, with leveled up Lissandra, you get tough on your thing, and then you win by that way. You don't need to worry about damage. Wow, that's going to be a really cool deck to make. That's going to be a really cool deck to make. So I'm going to wait until the full Mobilytic spoilers are out, and then, obviously, we can begin sort of evaluating the cards. But wow. Wow. Okay, here we are. We have all of the cards here. The Watcher is... It doesn't have a gem, so I'm going to still see. I thought I had a gem. We're going to zoom in. We'll go through Lissandra at the end. Let's look at some of the cards perhaps that we haven't seen. So here's Entomb. We saw that. Frozen Tomb, which goes with that. Frozen Thrall. This is how Lissandra levels up. Frozen Thrall is a 1 mana landmark. Countdown 8 to summon a Frostguard Thrall, which is an 8 mana 8/8, which of course is pretty fun. Yeah. I think with Lissandra, you'll probably have to play this simply because of her level up condition. Don't forget, you have to summon the 2 allies that cost 8+. And also, if you want to go for the Watcher, you need to have 4 allies that cost 8+. So you definitely will probably want to put in the Frozen Thrall thing so that you can then get this Frostguard Thrall. Obviously, we also saw this guy that will, you know, basically get you all 4 of them, which is absolutely insane. On turn 5, that could win you the game. You know, if you have 3 of these out, this is a win. You know, if you manage to find 3 of these and get this on turn 5, you will win the game. It is round end, so it's not summoned, but he gives you 1 as well, so you can just get 4. That's insane. That is insane. The countdown does have to be 4 or less. So if they print something that brings down the countdown, okay, yeah, it's not a win game because now I'm reading the card. Okay, so it does have to be 4 or less. So we have to see if it comes out that there's any way of removing countdown on certain ones. The Shurima one is only on the Sundisk. So if you're thinking about that, that's only for the Sundisk countdown, not for any others. Probably because that would be too good. Ice Shard is a 3 mana deal 1 to everything at fast speed. Very interesting card, right? You know, kind of like Twisted Fate's red card. This is a really interesting card because it triggers Plunder, which is kind of important as well. It's very good for Swain, you would think. You know, it's like Death Lotus, but like this is an insta level on Swain. So I think if you were playing Freljord Swain, then this might go in your deck Simply because, you know, it's a plunder trigger for when he levels up, so he will stun something. It will level him up very, very quickly. Is a second thing. And also, maybe there's some other things you can do with plunder triggers. You know, there aren't many plunder triggers that are solely in Freljord, so maybe there's, you know, you can go outside of Bilgewater with something like this. I don't know. You know, maybe you could make Noxus Freljord plunder decks potentially with this now. I don't know. That to me it seems where it goes rather than like a control tool type stuff. But we shall see. What are these cards here? Whoa, I've gone too far. Oh no, I haven't. Blighted Ravine here is a landmark 4 mana. When I'm summoned, heal your Nexus 4, countdown 1, deal 2 to everything. Wow. So it's obviously like Avalanche, right? But you can only play it on turn 4, but it also heals your Nexus 4 when you play it. But your opponent, you know... Oh, man, I don't know. Is that better or worse than Avalanche? There's kind of... Do you put them both in? You know, do you just go... I think in control decks, you would put both in. I genuinely do think. And if you're playing like Freljord hard control, put both in. Because I think they'll both do very well for you. You know, particularly in sort of unitless decks, this seems like a very viable option. 3 Sisters, 1 mana burst speed spell, create a fleeting flash freeze, Fury of the North, or Entomb. Entomb, is that the one that we got in this? I'm pretty sure it was. Entomb, yes. So this is the 5 mana spell. I was just making sure that I wasn't forgetting a card there. So, Fleeting Flash Freeze, Fury, or Entomb. So, a 5 mana Fury of the North, a 4 mana Flash Freeze. This is going to be an interesting card. Paying 1 more mana for them isn't great. And the fact that you can only play it when you have more mana, like you have to have the mana, of course, to play the card then as well, isn't great. But it is good in terms of its flexibility. It gives you obviously a lot of options. And flexibility is generally pretty good. Like, you know, Twisted Fate is a 4 mana 2/2, and a lot of people thought, oh, you know, that can't be good because it's a 4 mana 2/2. But the thing is, he gives you so much flexibility that he's good. Even when he doesn't level up, he's good. This might be quite the same, because Flash Freeze, of course, can just, you know, help you win a game. Fury of the North can help keep something that's very important alive and push extra damage, potentially. And Entomb, you know, can potentially remove a big threat. Man, this is so interesting, because Entomb, it seems quite situational, so this might be good. This is a really hard card to evaluate, though. Man, I don't know, but I don't know what deck would play it, is the thing, right? Like, what deck would play this, but not just put in Flash Freeze anyway? I don't know. I really don't know. It's a very interesting one. Cold Resistance, 5 mana, burst speed spell. Get an empty mana gem and grant an ally 0/2. This is like, what, a slightly worse Catalyst of Eons? But could you just go full 6 times the ramp? Maybe. Maybe, you know, maybe you just decide, let's just ramp crazy anyway. I'm not sure that works with the deck, though, because, of course, countdown is what you're going for anyway, right? I feel like bringing down the countdown of these things or finding these things reliably would be much better for you than otherwise. We did get the card that can destroy a landmark and summon something in its place, but that would obviously remove this, but maybe that goes in the deck anyway. Okay, let's come back to Lissandra and let's think about what this whole thing is going to do. I don't know if this is a main deck card. We haven't actually seen anything. And Lissandra's spell is Entomb. Okay. So Lissandra herself. What's a Frozen Thrall? Oh, it's one of these. Oh, so you can get loads of these. Oh, okay. So you're going to get... These aren't going to be the problem. I still think you would play them in this deck, but getting enough of them to level up Lissandra shouldn't really be an issue. And also, that means that getting the Watcher off shouldn't even be that big of an issue either. Because both this and the... where is he? The Draklorn Inquisitor both summon one. So that's 2 already. 2 already! To use a Lord of the Rings quote. And you're going to be looking for them, I think, quite a lot. Wow, so maybe the Watcher... I was thinking, is the Watcher good? I don't think you'll need the Watcher is the thing. I don't think that the Watcher, unfortunately, will be the best way of playing this, because I think just getting the massive 8/8s or whatever will be enough. If you get 3 of these, you'll win. You should win. right? Like, there's very little your opponent can do. Unless we go into a very control-heavy meta, then the Watcher maybe makes more sense. And maybe you'll put it as a one-of, right? Maybe you will put this in as a one-of. It doesn't have a rarity gem, which is really bugging me because I'm not sure. Because I haven't seen any other... Oh, create a Watcher in hand. There it is. Ah. Oh, wow. That makes it even better. I was thinking you'd put this in a one-off, but wow, Lissandra just got a lot better. Oh my god. Lissandra is good. Wow, Lissandra is really good. What? If you get Lissandra leveled up, you have like a good win condition against aggro and mid-range decks because your Nexus is tough. So if you've got healing, forget about it. They've lost. And then against control, you've got this. And she can just slowly ice shard them down. What? 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 Lissandra is amazing. As far as I can tell, she's amazing. She literally gives you a win condition against every kind of deck. Maybe she might struggle with like Lee Sin type things, right? Maybe, but then I guess your win condition would just be to go for, you know, as many of these as quickly as you can. You know, just get as many Frostguard Thralls out as you can and play this. And then hope for, you know, one big attack. I guess that would become your win condition against like Lee Sin type things. But even so, against everything else, Lissandra is insane. What do you do if you're aggro against this? Your Nexus is tough? Forget about it, you've lost. She's a 3-4 tough. That's not no aggro deck that I'm aware of is going to be putting in the stuff to deal with that. Culling Strike is a pretty big, you know, kill on Lissandra. Culling Strike just got even better because it kills Lissandra, and that's pretty important, and it's the best way of doing it. Wow. This is genuinely insane. This is insane. This is insane. Lissandra is amazing. And I really like Freljord, and I'm glad for that, because I like these kind of things as well. And because this is something that you create in hand, this is going to go off. Not all the time. You know, it's not going to happen often, I would say. But it's going to win you a game or two. You know, this will win you the odd game. Because it doesn't have to attack the Nexus or whatever. It just has to attack. So your opponent has to deal with it. So if you summon this when they've got no mana and you open attack, you win. Wow, this is even better than I thought. Because think about it, I was thinking in control, well, they'll just remove it. But think about it, they use mana on their turn to do whatever. You play this. They don't have the mana to remove it. They're going to need Vengeance or Ruination, so they have to keep up, what, 7 mana every turn? They're not going to be able to remove it. Then you just open attack with it, and you win. Lissandra kills the control. Wow, okay, we're going to quickly go through the rest of the cards because I am freaking out. Lissandra, I think, is amazing. I genuinely do. I think she's definitely in the upper tier of champions. I can't see a way she can't be. And I think there will definitely be a very strong deck that comes out with her. Her champion spell, Entomb, isn't great. This is something that you're going to have with a very specific, you know... If you're playing that... I don't think you would main deck this, I'll be honest. The fact that they're going to get it back unless you have landmark removal. Unless you have a lot of landmark removal, which I don't think you would. Like maybe Shurima Freljord, right? With It That Stares and the one that we got yesterday that removes a landmark. But then it's still it's basically a 5-mana vengeance for a 2. Yeah, I don't think you'll play this. I think it's, you know, situationally decent if you've got those things. And I think that It That Stares is something that you would play in the Lissandra deck 100%. So it could, you know, it has some nice synergies there, but I don't think you'd ever main deck this card on its own. Frozen Tomb is obviously just that. Frozen Thralls, these will definitely go in the landmark deck. It's going to be interesting to see if there's other ways of making this work. You know, maybe with Shurima, of course, with all the landmarks. It very well could go in those Shurima landmark decks, as it's a cheap landmark that has a pretty big effect when it goes off, and you have a card to make that effect go off quicker, which is really nice. And it gives you an 8/8 overwhelm, which is insane. Ice Shard, I could see some synergies with it, as I mentioned. Swain seems like a pretty obvious one, right? For leveling him up. But it is at fast speed, but it's kind of like Death Lotus, which is a card that people thought was really bad, but have come around on a bit, I think. And the fact you don't have to be at combat and it affects everything means that it's a solid card with some synergy payoff that I think will definitely see play in synergistic decks and might see some experimentation in generic decks. Draculorn Inquisitor, obviously you'll be in the full Frozen Thrall deck with this, otherwise it probably doesn't make that much sense. But definitely, I mean, it's a 3 of it in any Lissandra deck, I would have thought. Blighted Ravine, as I say, if you're in full Freljord Shadow Isles control, you probably will play this and Avalanche. I don't think you can get enough Avalanches in that deck. I think Avalanche is such a big win against so many decks that I think Blighted Ravine you would slap in as well. And we're starting to get to the point of the card pool now where you can start running basically, you know, less and less and less and less creatures. The game has always been somewhat creature heavy, but now with this and Avalanche and the rest, yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing, you know, decks that run 3, 6 creatures, something like that, right? 3/6 is a hard card to evaluate. I think it's okay. I just don't know where exactly it fits in. You know, maybe that control deck is it, but then I don't think you would ever need the Fury of the North, so why not just play Flash Freeze? Maybe if you want just extra copies of Flash Freeze or Fury of the North or Entomb, which I don't think you would, maybe Flash Freeze. You know, maybe you could just play it in Ash, right? Maybe you could just add in extra Flash Freezes. I don't think you would need to, but maybe that is the case. And then Cold Resistance, I mean, again, is sort of like if you need extra ramp, if you are going all in on the idea of ramp and you just want, you know, 6 ramps. Targon's Peak deck, for instance, would ideally want to have 6 ramp cards in it so that it could just ramp up to turn 5 reliably and get Targon's Peak outright. That's where I see this being used in those kind of decks. Maybe in Nivea decks as well, although again, you know, it is essentially a worse catalyst, right? A crazy day. Honestly, probably my favorite one. Lissandra, I think, is absolutely nuts. I cannot believe this. Having read all the cards and understanding them, I think, now, Lissandra is nuts. Her level up isn't easy. You have to be, you know, very much in the right deck. But aside from that, absolutely forget it. This is so cool. And I will be trying this, and this kills the control. Or this will be control, I think. I'm fairly sure that this will be the new control deck, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think, because I am absolutely, my brain is mush. And I will see you on the 24th at 5:10 for a new card reveal. So have a really nice day.